So today we are about to see how to work with advanced filters. Again, so
Uh,
whatever I do right now, I can
Sorry to break you in middle. So X lookup was pending from
yes,
last
yes,
class.
it is pending for us. We will do that again.
Okay, okay.
That won't be a problem. So when you are working with advanced filter here, so what an advanced filter can do? So it can do a lot of thing for us, and there are some systematic way which I can achieve something better. Advanced filter always does for us. So normally when I want to add a filter, so we would have seen this a little bit. So the basic filter that we in Excel will always be either a control shift and then L, and then or I'll do alt DFF, and then or I can use alt 80. So these are the shortcuts that I get for a filter. Normally when I go for a filter, I use the filter in a very minimal point where I've used only for finding out whether my sum if answers are right. Some ifs answers are right. So I use the filter as a cross verification tool. I never use them as a better tool than that. So to work on these data correctly, so I'm going to insert a filter right now. When I add a filter, remember that if my header is the first row of the data, then I can place the cursor wherever I want and hit a filter option. So it automatically hits the topmost line item from my list.
Okay.
But if my filters are happening somewhere in the middle of the data, so for example, I have some lines here, then I have something on top here, then I cannot hit a filter just like that. I have to choose where I need a filter. Also, if I do a filter right now, sometimes it works properly, sometimes it doesn't. For example, now I have this list, so I'm going to just select this point, remove this. When I try to add a filter right now, the filter will not add to my header, it will add to the one. Because that is the first header that I have on top of my data. So if such situation comes into play for me, then what I will do is I will select the cell where I really require my filter and then add a filter. So selection is the key part that happens in here, even in a simpler filter that I have. But if I don't have anything on top, so if I don't have this one on top, then I don't mind placing the cursor wherever I require it, and then I'll hit a control shift L that gives you the filter automatically for us. So normally when I say filter, I just chose one point. Now what I want is I want to just make things a little more crisper here. So I want to just take up the 2015 data of Chennai alone in a new sheet. So this is what I want because I want to do some uh, analysis in it. So I want the data to be filtered out only for the 15 data, and the region has to be Chennai. Then what I'll do is I'll just come back to my normal filter. When I click it, you can see that the years are coming up here. I'm keen to have only 15. And the region, I will keen to have only Chennai. So now it shows only Chennai for me. And I'm going to select from top to bottom. If I'm using 2010 and above version, I don't have a problem in handling this data. I can just like that do it. I can copy and paste it here. So I get all my 2015 data here and all belongs to Chennai. Now I can do whatever changes, whatever control that I want to do with it, I can do that. This is one of the basic filter, and this will also become one of our advanced filter. When I go to an advanced filter, the advantage that I have is I can create the following. So I'm going to create a unique column for data validation, and I can take the criteria based filter, and then I can just compare the other data. These are the three functions that I can normally build in a advanced filter. So let's see how to do that. So this I can do it either manually, or I can do using a formula, or I can use a filter also. So whichever one you feel it is comfortable for you, you can do that. But a systematic approach will have a different component altogether. So let's see how to create a unique column in a new sheet. So I'm going to just take up a sheet here and then name them as unique, drag it to the last. Now I want to pick up one data that I want to pick up my customer list here, and I want to get a unique list of the customer or distinct customer names has to be there in that list. So I'll place the cursor in the customer column, select the whole of them, copy it, and come back to the unique and paste it. This is a manual way of doing it. So when I copy paste this data, it gives you the entire column for me in this list. Then, as usual, I'll come back to my data and I'll click remove duplicates to get this data. So now it immediately pops up a window to me saying that I have 14 unique customers I have in my entire list of data. Out of that, 1985 duplicate values were found. And it is also to get the unique list. So when I give an OK, you can see that it's coming here. I'm selecting the whole list here and I'm adding it to here. So this is the way that I achieve this manually. Now I want the same thing to be achieved using an advanced filter. And if you are asking me which one you will do it, sir, I preferably either do it manually or using a formula is the easiest way to do it. I don't really do a advanced filter option. But advanced filter option gives you an additional cushion for you that you do things in a systematic way. So the error that you may commit in a manual way or in a formula way might be eradicated in this list if you use them pretty properly. So let me show you how I'm going to use that. So I'm going to place the cursor in the blank field and then I'm going to go back to my data and you can see a line here called advanced.
Advanced.
So click that and then it gives you a pop-up here and says that what do you want to do. So you want to add a filter to the same sheet that the data have, or you want to move it to a new sheet. I'm going to bring the data from a sheet 1 and that to a unique sheet, and I need a unique valuation also in it. So to do so, I will click the copy to other location because I'm moving the data from one sheet to other. Even if I do it within the sheet, I can use the copy to other location also because the ranges are going to be different, not on the same plot. Then I'll ask you what is the list of range that you want to choose. So I'm going to click the list of range, come back to sheet 1, select the whole customer column from top to bottom. Then I'll ask you a question next. So what is the criteria range? I don't have any criteria range as such, but I'm going to copy this data in here. Then I'll ask you what do you want to do next. So it's I want a unique records only. So when I click this and the steps that I'm doing right now is a little more than what I did in the earlier component, but it is more systematic. So my data will be absolutely right. And you can see the literal answers are same. Whether I use a remove duplicate or I use a filter is giving you the same. If you're using 2016 or 2019 and above after March edition, March 2020 editions afterwards. So you get one more line here called unique. Again, this is a far more improvised one. So I'm going to use the unique formula to achieve it. So I'm going to say unique. And then the array that I'm going to take is the entire customer name here. Here I left the customer heading because customer comes in an alphabetical way. So sometimes it may come in an odd way. So I leave the header. I only take the bottom and give an enter. Now you can see I literally see the same data I achieved in all the 3 functionalities. I didn't see anything different here. So I'm getting the results in 3 different manners. One I did it manually, one I did with a formula, and one I did with an advanced filter in it. In a formula, the advantage that I have is now after the unique, what I can do right now is I can just add one more dimension to my list here. I can just sort them up. This is sort and give an enter. So now it sorts on an alphabetical order to me. But again, I cannot sort the other way around. When I say sort, it is going to sort in one way. That is ascending to descending order. So A to Z will be the point. If I want to do this, I have to do it manually here. Even here, I have to do it manually. But here, I don't want to do it manually because this is a part of my formula. So this is how I want to deal with things.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear. Sorry, sir. I was on mute. I was just one query over here, sir.
No
For
issues.
suppose in advanced filter, if we require only for Amazon and 2020 mobiles, then how we are going to get that? This
That
was
you
the
can,
filter for the
because
unique only.
when I go for a list here, I'm taking a unique on a column, not on something furthermore unique. I cannot take only two of them or three of them out of it. Then I may not be able to use the advanced filter. I have to use a if function to do so. So filtering out an entire column is easily done in advanced filter, but when we are making complicated components, probably I may not able to use an advanced filter because advanced filter goes through the entire list. Or we should have a data in such a way that my 2020 is coming on top. So what I will do is if I want only the first two customers here, then I will come here and then I'll do the sorting here. And now I got this list. So then I will take only the data belong to the next two. So I'll say 2020 and Amazon. Until then only I'll select it. So I'll select data until this. If
Okay.
I do a unique value or if I do an advanced filter right now, probably I'll get the first two only.
Got it.
So this is the way we deal with the list.
Okay.
Now in my earlier data, I just filtered out two columns and then I pulled the data to a brand new sheet. So this is what I'm about to do right now in my next logic that is called criteria based filter. When I say criteria based filter, and this is the next level of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP and XLOOKUP or any lookup that I say so. Because when I go for a VLOOKUP, I take a data in vertical way. If I take a HLOOKUP, I'll take a data in a horizontal way. When I take a two-way lookup, I take the data in a row and column manner or in a what to say cross tab data type. What I really require is I want all the data, but for a particular condition. This I can do either by a filter or by a manual way. For example, I would like to see the entire sales done so far in the last 6 years in the region called Madurai. Normally, what we do is we'll just come down here and then select the whole data, add a filter, filter out the region to Madurai, then select the whole data, copy, and then paste them here. So now I got any data and every data that is in the region part. So I take all the columns into existence, whether it is an invoice number, sales representative, customer, or a product, or a purchase value, or a sale value, or the rate of invoice that I've done. Every bits and pieces of my information are here. This I can achieve it in a very simpler way or in a much more organized way in an advanced filter. But this is the easiest way of doing it. This is a manual copy paste. I filtered out a column and copied and pasted it. If you're using 2007 version and below, probably I'll get some error here and there because sometimes what happens, even the filtered data will also be displayed here. After 2010 version, if you're using, I don't think we have such a situation here. We can handle things far, far better.
Okay.
So now I'm going to achieve the same logic using a filter option. So I'll come back to my list here. So now what I'm going to do is before I do that, I need these two items because I should tell the system what I'm about to. So I can keep wherever I want it. So I don't want to keep it anywhere specific. So, but I can keep it wherever I require it. So you can see that I have the region called Madurai on top. So I want the answer to be added to this line so that I can compare the data whether it is right or wrong. So I'll come back to the data again. I'll go back to advanced filter. And this time also I'm taking the data from the sheet 1 to this sheet. So I'm going to say copy to the location. But before I do any of this sorting, so I need to check whether the answers are all open. Now my answers are filtered out to Madurai. So I'm going to unfilter the data. So I'll keep the complete data with me. So if I start doing things in here, this works effectively for me. So I'm going to come back to my based on this list. So I'm going to place the cursor here, advanced filter, and copy to the location in the list. I'm going to choose my invoice to all data. So I'm going to select the whole data in here. Then question you, what is the criteria? So I'm going to say I want the criteria where wherever I have a region called Madurai is there, please bring them up alone. And I'll ask you where you want to copy it. I would like to copy it from this cell. So now in the earlier option I used the unique records, so I didn't use the criteria range. Here I'm using the criteria range, but not the unique records, because I'm not bringing in the unique records here. I'm bringing in the data which says that the region is Madurai. When I give an OK, you can see the same data is expanded, or it is given the same line items. The line items are not changed, but I'm using methodology that I use to achieve this is a little different than what I do normally. So manual way is far easier and far easier and far faster to compare to a advanced filter way. But advanced filter way gives you a control over your data and says that exactly what you can do, what you cannot do. It gives you an edge how to handle data better.
Okay.
So that is the way we work around with it. Are we good to go for one more?
Yeah, we can go.
The next logic is comparison. So I'm trying to compare two different logics here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'll take a simple data so that it will be easy for us to do it, but I can do a complex data when we are working with the next exercise. So for example, I have a list here, so I'll say 2020 and 2021. So this is the list of employee that I have here. List of employee. The years are different. I'm going to just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here, when I come down here, I'll say 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I want to compare these two data and get an output out of it. There are two different dimensions that I can get out of it. So I can compare these two data, but remember, I can compare this data in only one dimension. I can either choose this as a base field and find what is there available in that list, or I can choose this as a base field and find what is there available in this list. So I can say that how many old employees are still with me, how many new employees are added in this year. So I can find out that. This is what I want to find out in these two dimensions. So normally, if you want to do this, I will do it in a systematic way. Probably I try to use an advanced filter here than a manual way that I'm about to do right now. So what I will do is I'll use a small function here called match. I'll say match. I want to find out this on this entire data, and I'm going to give an average root cell reference, give a comma, and see if it is exactly matched. Use the row number where that data exists in that list. Now you can see that it gives you a number here called 135. Again, the answer and the point remain same. So let me just make it much more relevant here. So let me take a data which is a little useful for us, so that at least I can figure out the number, why the numbers are coming in that way. These are the customers, or these are the suppliers that I had in my earlier list. So now I want to see that whether that's there in the new list also.
Okay.
Now we can see that on the left hand side, I have the list of customers 1 to 5. You see the right hand side, I have the list of customers again, but this time I have only the first customer who is only my customer who is still continuing with me in my sales. I have the third customer, I have the fourth customer, and so on. When I try to add the match function here, it says that these are the customers who are there in our earlier list, who is also in the new list. This is the list of 2020, whereas this is the list of 2021. But I have new customers came in, but these people are new to me, they are not the old one. So if I match this to this match function, what it does is it says that whether I have this guy or this customer name even in this list. If it is so, where this customer list is available here, which row we have it. I can sort them whichever way I wanted it to be. So that's going to change my answer there on the right hand side. So I'm going to just add one line here, then I'll sort it so that will make a little sense here because it is sorting the headers also. So now you can see that in which line my customer name is there.
Okay.
It says that Surya Mobile is on the 4th row in the 2020 table. Universal is in the 5th row in the 2020 table, and Grand Phones in the 1st row of the 2020 table. The other people are not there in that list. Now I can achieve the same logic using an advanced filter. I preferably do this.
Okay.
Because I get a different drop down list, or I get a list of old people and a new people separately in two different columns. If I do this here, I will get the answer here immediately. But if I want old people to be separated and new people to be separated, then I have to copy paste it in a new dimension altogether. I don't want to do that if I use an advanced filter here. So let's see how to do that. So I'm going to re-perform the same match function again. Above my data. So now it says that only the first answer is coming up for me. So now I want to use an advanced filter. This will come back to my data and I'll say advanced filter. So I'll place the cursor here. I'll say advanced filter. Then you can see that it takes all the data, but I want only the data for the list of customers. I have it here. Not even 2021 because 2021 is not required here. Then I'll ask you what do you want to do. So I want to copy this to another location. I want to put them in the old column. The L column is the answer where I want to add this. I'm going to say copy to the location. They'll ask you what is your criteria range. I say wherever I have a match. So whenever I choose a criteria range in this situation, I'll add a blank on top and then select the match function. Because I'm getting only one answer here, but I have three answers to be filled here. So I'll be very careful when I deal with it. And then I'll see where I want my answer to be pasted here. I want the answer to be pasted here. When I give an OK, it extracts only those customers who are matching with one table and the other one. If you have a doubt, you can ask me. I will redo this process one more time.
No, I want to see the formula for the in which are given in H column H.
I gave a match function there. I don't do anything other than that.
Okay.
The same formula exists even in here.
And it is coming 4 because list of customers is also taken as match, right?
The point is here it coming only 4 years because I only chose only one condition here. It's not running like this. This is going to give you this answer is what given on top here also. But when I drop down this, then it goes for each and every line item. So I'm getting multiple answer here. Here it will only give you one answer, not multiple answer, because I only use one match.
Okay.
So now I got the list of old customers. I have it. I want to newly added customer list here in this column. If I want to do this, I'm about to perform one more formula here. So let me put the formula somewhere over here so that I can use them a little later. So I'm going to just say match. Then again choose the same logics comma and then come back here. Choose the whole logic F4 comma and then 0 close bracket and enter. So it's going to give you the same 4 there, but I want one other dimension that is called is NA.
Okay.
When I do that, is it not there or is it there? If it is not there, then it will give you an answer called true. If the data is there, exists in both the table, then it is going to give you an answer called false. Now it's giving you false because Surya Mobile is available not just in the 2021 table, it is also available in 2020 table.
Okay.
So now I want to rerun the table one more time.
It's the opposite kind of thing. Like if
It's going to give you the opposite answer for us. That's it. Exactly right. So I'm going to place the cursor in the list of answer and then I'll come back to the data. Advanced filter, it chooses the right point, copy to the location, but this time the criteria is not the match, but opposite the match. I'm taking the other way around. Then I want the answer not in the same place. I want the answer to be in this place. When I give an OK, you can see I'm getting all the new customers in a separate table. This was given as one answer when I come back to the normal match function, which I gave you earlier, just next to the new table. But here I pulled it out as two different conditions based on two different logics here. So this is how we will deal with advanced filter. Any doubts, any repetition is required?
No.
Do it again. If you feel it is fine, then we are done with the advanced filters.
No, sir, it's fine.
Perfect. So today I'll end this with this. I want you to just try this once. Tomorrow we are working with the X lookup functionality.
Okay.
So X lookup function. So how do I compare that with a V lookup function? How do I compare that with the H lookup function? How do I compare that with the index and match function? And so on will be shown in one dimension.
Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow same time.
Same time. Sure.
And
Thank you.
Then we do the rest. Yeah.